Hello, my name is Nick Sider, and I'm presenting my video unit documentary on the American Revolution in New York State for CED 350, Dr. Leahy's class. Now, let's first of all start with the purpose of social studies education, and it is to help the students develop social understanding and civic efficiency to help become a fully acting and thinking student, helping students become more aware of their surroundings. The children can learn about culture, continuity, and environments. They learn about power and authority. Social studies also teaches us about science and technology and the importance that it has. For the unit that I am teaching, there are many NCSS standards. The standards in order are 2, time, continuity, and change. Number 3, people, places, and environments. Number 5, individuals, groups, and institutions. The next standard is number 6, power, authority, and governance. The final 2 NCSS standards are number 9, global connection, and number 10, civic ideals and practices. All of these standards are present in my unit about the American Revolution in New York State, which is an NYSED standard for 4th grade. By the end of this unit, students will be able to understand that knowing the geographic area in New York led to many victories in the American Revolution. They will also understand how the Battle of Saratoga was important and was considered the turning point of the war and would lead to final victory in the American Revolution. Students will be able to understand that the result of this war would lead to the creation of the United States of America. To be able to have students establish these understandings, we must ask some essential questions. Why does geography play an important role in wars? Why the Battle of Saratoga was considered the turning point in the war? And why was the American Revolution important in American history? Skills that students will be able to perform after completing the unit are be able to locate, label lakes, mountains, and cities on a map. Students will be able to express their findings, written and orally. When creating a lesson plan for this unit, it is important to include the necessary information in different ways. This lesson is for 4th grade students. The basic summary of this lesson is reviewing the information they learned from the last unit and then taking the information they know and putting it into this new unit as an introduction. And then after the conclusion of this discussion, we will move to a textbook and map exercise. The maps will be a combination of Google Maps and actual paper maps. The objective of this lesson is for the students to understand the location of New York State and why it was important in the American Revolution. The students will have the skills to be able to look on a map and figure out where these key locations are. Students will need to have some prior knowledge and skills for this lesson to be successful. Students must be able to know how to read and write. They must have the basic understanding of maps and charts. The students must also have some prior knowledge to be successful. Before this lesson, students must be able to know the basic ideas about the American Revolution. The students should have the knowledge of how it started and the basic details throughout the war. This lesson can definitely be adjusted to address the needs of all learners. If there is a child with a hearing or speech impairment present in the class, there might be a teacher's assistant available to come in and sign for the student. Another way is that the student will receive written note cards about the information throughout the lesson. This lesson can also help students that have visual sight impairments. There are maps that can be obtained from New York, and hopefully with the help of a teacher's assistant, help the student follow along in the lesson. Due to the flexibility of this lesson, changes can be made according to a student's accommodation. The lesson will begin with a classroom discussion about the past unit and why it is important. As the teacher continues to ask questions, begin to start directing them toward the new unit. The teacher will then direct the students to the location of New York using Google Earth. The teacher will pass out a blank worksheet of New York on it. Through the help of the textbook and Google Earth, students will be required to find certain places on the map and label them. Students will have 40 minutes to fill them out. Then we'll have to color in different geographic areas of New York State. Then at the end of the lesson, the students will write in their journals about their findings in class today and what they learned. There will not be written grades with these journals, just only feedback using the 2 stars and a wish system. The students will then receive feedback rather than the grade. The worksheets will be graded upon completeness using summative assessment. This journal and the use of the grading system are to assess the student's progress. This way of assessment is called formative assessment. It focuses on feedback rather than the grades itself. Other examples that can be used in this unit are the use of learning portfolios. Students put their work into the portfolio so that they can see the growth and the learning throughout the lesson. Grading papers is just one example of summative assessment that can be used in the classroom, as in recent studies have shown that students learn less when using this method, but it is necessary for them to have some sort of written assessment. At the end of the unit, there will be a unit exam that will focus on essential question points. It will have multiple choice questions and a couple short answer questions. It is important to do both, so if a student struggles in one section, they have a chance to excel in another area of the test to balance the score. At the completion of this lesson, students will have a full understanding of how this great nation was created. Thanks for watching.